short of a car crash interview. Chancellor Rachel Reeves, pressed on the Angela Rayner tax scandal, stumbles through her answers live on TV. Instead of clarity, what we get is hesitation, stuttering, and a desperate attempt to defend the indefensible. Reeves insists she has full confidence in the Deputy Prime Minister, even as she admits that Rayner failed to pay the correct stamp duty on her £800,000 Hoe flat. She calls it an error, a mistake, but the delivery tells its own story. Watch closely as Reeves struggles to hold the line and ask yourself, is this really the steady hand Britain's finances are meant to rest on? Before we watch the footage, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. We have released our new I'm Not Far Right t-shirts. Do you believe that Angela Rayner can stay in post given the mistake that she's now acknowledged with stamp duty? Yes, I have full confidence in Angela Rayner. She's a good friend and a colleague. She has accepted that the right stamp duty wasn't paid. That was an error. That was a mistake. She is working hard now to rectify that in contact with HMRC to make sure that the correct tax is paid. Anyone that saw Angela's statement yesterday, saw her interview yesterday, I think will have a lot of sympathy with some of the challenging family circumstances around Angela's disabled son. But of course it is right that people pay their right amount of tax, and it's important that people in public life lead by example, and that's why Angela has referred herself to the independent advisor on ethics, and it's why she's working with HMRC to make sure that she has paid all the proper taxes. We've been told now that on Monday there was initial advice that perhaps the wrong amount of duty had been paid. At what point did the Prime Minister and you find out that actually there might have been a mistake? Well, the definitive advice came in on Wednesday morning, and that's when Angela put out the statement. On Tuesday as well, some court injunctions were lifted related to her disabled son and those circumstances, and that's why she was able to make a full statement on Wednesday. Angela's referred herself to the ethics advisor. That is the right thing to do, and she is trying to work with HMRC to pay the proper amount of tax, and in the end that's the thing that matters, that this is quickly resolved, that the tax that is paid, that is due is paid. But I think anyone reading Angela's statement and seeing her interview yesterday do understand that this is a woman trying to do the right thing by her children, particularly her disabled son, whilst also fulfilling all of her duties both as a constituency MP and as Deputy Prime Minister. And that's the real takeaway. Not simply the tax scandal itself, but the sheer fragility on display when Reeves was put under the spotlight. Instead of projecting authority, her stumbling answers only fuel doubts about her ability to defend the government's position with confidence. For a chancellor whose role demands clarity and composure in the face of economic turbulence, such a faltering performance is far from reassuring. If this is how she handles scrutiny over a colleague's misstep, what happens when Britain faces a genuine financial crisis? The interview leaves viewers not with reassurance, but with unease and a growing sense that the steady hand Britain's economy requires may be missing from the Treasury. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Nigel Farage has branded Keir Starmer's criticism of his address to U.S. Congress as a desperate attempt to bring him down. Speaking to the media following his hearing in Washington, the Reform UK leader declared the Prime Minister is so on the run that he has resorted to outright lies. Yesterday in PMQs, Mr. Starmer addressed Mr. Farage's absence from the Commons, claiming his decision to speak out on free speech in the U.S. was unpatriotic. The Prime Minister stated he has flown to America to badmouth and talk down our country. Worse than that, if you can believe it, he's gone there to lobby the Americans to impose sanctions on this country to harm working people. You cannot get more unpatriotic than that. It's a disgrace. Hitting back at the claims Mr. Farage told Christopher Hope, this Prime Minister is so desperate now. He's so on the run that he resorted just to outright lies. Outright lies. The idea that I've suggested we should be punished with tariffs, I've never said anything of that kind whatsoever. What I'm saying is the opposite, he assured. What I'm saying to Americans is please have a chat with the British government, say this is not going to work the way it currently is, and for the betterment of both of us. Let's rethink the legislation. Pressed by Christopher on his absence from PMQS, Mr. Farage furiously rebutted, "So what? What can I do there? I said in Parliament, I get abused by everybody and I get to answer once every 2 or 3 months. I don't think that should be a priority over talking here to American legislators and American companies who matter a lot to our country." Warning of the economic impact on U.S. businesses traveling to Britain amid the ongoing free speech laws, Mr. Farage explained, "It's a real issue for Americans now, and it's an even bigger issue in some ways for companies. Think of the vast amount of business that we do with American companies and they do with British companies. Why would an executive of a tech firm want to set foot in Britain? Why would they invest money in Britain under this current situation? This is something that really needs to be sorted." Asked by Christopher how Reform UK would resolve the implementation of the Online Safety Act, Mr. Farage told the media, "We all want solutions. I gave a suggestion this morning to this committee. I said maybe there's something in hardware. Maybe under 16-year-olds can only have a certain type of handset which will prohibit them from going into certain areas of the internet. There are always ways around these things, but that might be an attempt." He added, "I want to protect children. There's not a parent in Britain doesn't want to protect their children, but if this is to protect children, why does the Act set up an elite police force to look at what we're saying?" Delivering his verdict on Angela Rayner's tax affairs revelation, the Reform UK leader admitted, he cannot see how she can survive this. He concluded, "If a case like that was me, you'd all be demanding that I resign. I just don't see how she survives this. It's not for me to comment, but I think the facts are all out there in the open. She's admitted she's done it. It's certainly an HMRC issue to begin with. I just don't see how you survive this. I think it's more likely than not that she'll resign." In the end, Farage sought to turn the tables on both Starr and Labour, dismissing the Prime Minister's accusations as baseless while questioning Angela Rayner's future over her tax affairs. His remarks underline the deepening political hostility between Reform UK and the government, with Farage making it clear he has no intention of backing down either at home or on the international stage. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content.